Hi, welcome back to Vinyl Sunday. For this episode of Vinyl Sunday, we have Peter Frampton's Wind of Change. Well, before anything, if you want to listen to the song, I think this is the first time for me doing this, but I think it should be here. If you click on this link or this box, it will take you to the song. The new format of how I'm envisioning doing these, one Sunday will be the performance, and the Sunday next, it will be the talk about the vinyl the performance is taken from, and just chatting about music in general. I don't think there's enough music talk around. It used to be a conversational subject a lot more, which I don't seem to find as much nowadays. Maybe because in the mainstream there's not a lot to talk about, but that's just how I feel about it. Going back to Vinyl Sunday, Peter Frampton. Yeah, firstly, the first thing that got me of his is his guitar work, obviously. As a guitar player growing up, it was one of those that I would definitely listen to a lot. And after I've understood how good of a voice he has and the songwriting that he has. But very interesting album, 1972, which goes to show how much of, a great decade the 70s were for music. I wasn't super familiar with this album. Obviously, the first album for me, as for many, was Comes Alive, which here it is. How cool is this cover? Oh man, just really cool. And I remember having the CD of this. It had the same pictures inside. It doesn't happen often with vinyls and CDs, and I remember playing over this so much. Actually playing over it, like jamming with it. It's kind of pre-internet or pre-YouTube for me at least, and what a huge help that was, shaping guitar playing and just the ability to develop your ear. It's very different active listening when you know that it's gonna bug you to go back, and you just have that one passage of the song, so you just have your ears open and you're more receptive, I think, of what's coming out. Amazing album. It's historical. I think it's been best-selling live album for a lot of years before Unplugged. What a great guitar player. Amazing tone, and which is amazing tone, which I found again in Wind of Change. I wouldn't think that, a few years back you would have that tone. I have to say, it was one of the best live gigs I've listened to as far as sound, and it just sounded amazing. It's top 3. The other one that comes to mind is the Eagles. When I've seen the Eagles, just sounded amazing, which always helps the experience. You go and see a great band that you love, and then the sound is kind of meh, and it does a lot to even to your perception of the band sometimes. Yeah, I remember at some point he pulled out an SG. This is for the guitar gigs, but he pulled out an SG and it sounded amazing. I can't remember what he played because that was 14 years ago now. It's got to be 14 years now. I think it was 2011. And I remember when I was in Philadelphia. I spent a month in Collingswood, which is this little town outside Philly. And he was touring there, but I didn't have enough cash at the time to go and see him. But there was this kind of small theater, and he was doing, I think it was during the Acoustic tour. I want to say 2016. Back to the vinyl. Pleasantly surprised about all the sounds in it, and I didn't know that Ringo played. Well, there's a couple of songs, actually, as I was listening, I was like, this definitely's got the English influence in the writing. Very different from Humble Pie, I think, which is the band he was in before. And I was hearing some Beatles influences, and then found out that Ringo played on it. And Billy Preston, which is probably my favorite Hammond player. Great songs, great sounds, and obviously, as all the great artists, it's always, better live, but I love the album. Obviously, his version of Jumpin' Jack Flash, which is, I know it's Rolling Stones songs, but I love his version more than the Stones. But yeah, that's about it for this week. And thank you for listening. And share your music with your friends and with people around you if you can. And it's important, I don't. I feel like the experience of listening to music has changed so much, and it really is personal, and you really have to do it just yourself with the song, with the music. If you have something that you can touch, it's definitely a different experience than going online. Because you're very much offline when you're online. I would say if you have the means to isolate yourself with a song, you will find that you're a lot less isolated than you think, or a lot less lonely that one the online experience does. And I was thinking about this at the gym the other day. You have to have your own experience with the song just as much as a book, because if somebody tells you how a book goes, it's definitely not going to be the same experience as you giving time to the book and reading through it, and like actually spending time with the books. It's as valuable as the time you're given to it as anything else, really, and and I was thinking of how boring gym music is sometimes, and you wouldn't really want to read a book that's got the same 10 words in every page. The same goes with music. If it has to tell you something, and it has to make you think sometimes. And I'm not saying all the times, obviously that there's music for not thinking, but I think letting your brain imagine things or think, I think it's a good exercise for the gray cells, as Poirot says. So if you have the time, if you find the time, please do that. You'll be thankful to yourself to doing something good. Well, thanks for listening. I'm getting bored of my own voice, and I'll see you next Sunday. I haven't picked up an album yet. I got a couple of ideas and a new find as well. So, but it's stuff that there's no chords online, so I'm gonna have to listen carefully and take down chords and lyrics, and then present it to you. I hope your January was livable and you made it through. It's been an interesting month. It's always difficult, January. I think you make up your own uh, uh, idea of what month is gonna be, and then it never really goes to plan. So powerful month in that sense. But thanks for listening, and I'll see you the next one.